In Venezuela, doctors are demanding better protection. That after an armed man, or armed men, I should say, stormed into an operating room and shot a patient to death. At the time of the violence, surgeons were working on the patient's gunshot wound. Hospital personnel closed the emergency room for 72 hours as a protest. CCTV's Martin Markovitz is live in Caracas with details. And Martin, can you tell us exactly what happened in this shooting?
Well, number one, the main thing from this story is basically Venezuela's crime epidemic is even reaching the hospitals. Yesterday, workers from one of the biggest public hospitals in the country shut down the emergency room for 72 hours in protest for what they say is lax security at the country's hospitals. Last Sunday, a patient was shot and killed during a surgery to extract a bullet by an unknown gunman. They also killed the victim's brother, who was with him during the surgery. Some officials say, we have news reports that say that the perpetrators were actually former police officers, and it was related to a drug deal gone bad. Venezuela's top medical federation is now demanding that the government provide better security in hospitals. But they also condemned the closing of the clinic where the murders took place, saying that those actions unfairly targeted patients.
You know, Martin, I just have to say this had to be terrifying for these doctors, nurses in that hospital. And I think you alluded to it, but I mean, what does this say about Venezuela's crime epidemic?
Well, it's going really, really bad. Earlier this year, in a study conducted by the United Nations, Venezuela's capital, Caracas, was ranked the second most dangerous city in the world. Crime experts said in 2013 that there was 25,000 murders. Just to put this in perspective, there was more murders in Venezuela than in the United States and the 27 countries of the European Union combined. The murder rate soared during the presidency of Hugo Chavez, and experts blame a weak judicial system, where in some estimates, 9 out of 10 crime cases go unsolved. Others blame police officers' low salary, which they say leads them to a life of crime. On average, in Venezuela, cops make about $100 a month, a very low figure if you consider that they can make thousands of dollars if they participate in the drug trade.
Yeah, but boy, I'll tell you, you expect to go to a hospital and come out well, not get killed. But let's move on to another subject. Venezuela, big news coming out. The country has restored its ties with Panama. This is after 4 months of a breakdown in relations. What can you tell us about that?
Well, it was expected. With the election of the new president of Panama, relations between the two countries were now restored, diplomatic relations. Venezuela and Panamanian relations suddenly came to a halt in March after Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro accused the conservative government of meddling in his country's affairs after Panama proposed that the Organization of American States address the anti-government protests that rocked the country for about 5 months. Venezuela has long accused, under Maduro and also Chavez, they have accused the U.S. of being a tool the OAS, they've accused the OAS of being a tool of the U.S. to impose Washington's economic and political power in Latin America. But now with the election of a new Panamanian president, both sides signal that they would begin diplomatic relations again. This is very important since Venezuela's oil exports to China and Asia go through the Panama Canal.
All right, Martin Markovitz, live for us in Caracas. Thanks so much for that update.